My Thursday Satrix Be Like is Nick Kaoma, the CEO of Head Honcho Lifestyle Group. A lot of us are talking about what's happening with the students. You can empathize. Like many of these students, you had the burden of supporting your younger siblings.
Yes, I did actually. Unfortunately, my parents passed away when I was still fairly young. My mother passed away when I was 19, and my dad when I was 21, 22. So on top of just taking care of myself, I was a teen at the time. I was like 19 years old. I also had to take on the responsibility of helping out my little brothers. So it was obviously very hard, but I did it.
What were the life lessons you take out of that about having to be responsible for others, not just yourself?
I think one of the most important things that came out of it is just the need to step up as a man when the time comes. I was a teenager myself. I wanted to party. I wanted to hang out with friends and do what the 19-year-old or 20-year-old wants to do. But that's the situation that you find yourself in. So you have to step up. I went to UCT and I spent about 10 months there. It was very financially, challenging and demanding. And I actually ended up dropping out as a result of that.
Talk to us about that very crucial decision to leave institutional learning and learn in a different way.
I think before I even got to varsity, I always had a keen love for business. When I was like 15, 16 years old, my dad used to pass on, the Sowetan newspaper, and I used to read the business, section of it. And then I started subscribing to magazines like Fortune, Forbes when I was very, very young. So I just had this fascination with business. I wanted to become an entrepreneur myself.
You're waiting people's tables, but you're learning and you're flexing, you're developing your muscle all the time.
When I used to work as a waiter, I learned how to deal with people. I learned how to talk to customers. I learned how to pitch, believe it or not. Because if you're working at a big seafood restaurant, you have the ability to actually put together an amazing big platter for 3,000 Rand. So I was that guy.
The tip is going to be big.
Exactly, 10%. So I was that guy that wasn't selling you what's on the menu. I was selling you what I was putting together myself in my head, I think the most important thing when you're going through that phase, that period where you're not actually where you want to be, it's very important to keep reminding yourself where you want to be. So as I was waiting those tables, I never saw myself any different, or my self-esteem or confidence, didn't appreciate as a result. I was waiting tables, but in my mind, I was like, give me a couple of years, I'm a CEO. I'm a head honcho, and I knew, and I had that faith that it was going to happen either way. So I think that's the most important thing, because it's very easy to forget where you want to be when you're dealing with the current conditions and when times are tough and stuff.
Tell me how you start to put the building blocks of an empire in place.
I started working as a magazine editor. For 3 years of my career there, I managed to get to know a lot of people, a lot of influential people in the industry. And then when we started the brand, it was really very, very small. I was using half of my salary every month, to buy T-shirts, to make T-shirts, to do a little launch, to print some flyers, that type of thing. And we used to sell the T-shirts from our apartment. So we got into 1 or 2 stores, and the stuff started just, flying from there on. And then, we just added fuel to it, and here we are.
By the way, you mentioned Forbes, and then you're in the magazine.
I think it was 30 or 40 young African entrepreneurs to look out for.
To look out for.
I think I made the list twice in a row.
Ooh. Nick, where do you put your money? How do you make it grow?
I'm reinvesting in the business, investing in a lot of young up-and-coming guys, all over the country. I think you go through that phase in your mid-20s where you just want to shine, you want to stunt, so as they say. But I'm very, very careful. I'm putting my little brother through AAA. It's a very expensive school. So I have to watch every single cent. So I try to be very frugal with my money nowadays.
Nick Kaoma, pleasure talking to you today. Good luck, and I look forward to seeing you on the cover of a magazine sometime soon.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.